The fastest way to ruin a 668 horsepower Cadillac is to mod it like it's broken. It isn't. The CT5-V Blackwing already comes with a supercharged 6.2 LT4, magnetic ride control 4.0, Brembo 6-piston brakes, and a 6-speed manual. So when you drop 10 grand on this car, you are not fixing factory compromises. You are sharpening a finished blade, and the guys who blow that budget almost always do it the same way. They yank out the best magnetic suspension on any production car and bolt on cheap coilovers. Let's be honest about the math. $10,000 buys you a meaningful power gain, a transformative wheel and tire package, a tasteful drop, and proper track-ready brake consumables. It does not buy a 1,000-horsepower car. It will not fund a bigger supercharger, methanol injection, or a full coilover setup with remote reservoirs. Those are $20,000 conversations. Stay disciplined, and this budget is genuinely transformative. Let it sprawl and you'll end up with half-finished work and a car that drives worse than stock. Before you touch a single performance part, spend money you won't see. Set aside $500 to $700 for maintenance. The LT4 is sensitive to oil quality, so do a Dexo S1 Gen 3 full synthetic 0W40 change. Check and change the rear diff fluid if its history is unknown, because that diff takes a beating on driven examples. If the car has over 30,000 miles or was tracked, replace the AC Delco 41-62 iridium plugs. And flush the brake fluid with Motul RBF 660 if you plan any track use. This establishes a known good baseline so your gains aren't masked by mechanical rot. Here's where the money goes. $600 for maintenance reserve, non-negotiable. $3,500 on wheels and tires, the biggest visual and dynamic punch per dollar. $2,800 on power. $1,200 on suspension. $400 on brake consumables. $500 on cosmetics, and $1,000 on alignment, labor, shipping, and taxes, which everyone underestimates. Notice what's small here: brakes and suspension. The factory hardware is so good you refine it, you don't replace it. Power package $2,800, and it starts with a Corsa Performance cold air intake, around $500. On a supercharged motor, intake restriction directly chokes blower efficiency. Alone, it's worth maybe 8 to 12 horsepower and sharper throttle. With a tune, it becomes a real supporting mod. Bonus, a louder supercharger whine, which is a feature, not a bug. RotoFab makes a solid alternative at the same price. The community is split, but both are good. For exhaust, the Corsa Sport Catback, around $1,100 to $1,500. Here's the line in the sand: stay catback. A catback leaves the catalytic converters alone, keeps you emissions legal in all 50 states, and avoids tune headaches. The Sport Tune is the daily driver consensus: loud under throttle, civilized on a 2-hour highway run. The Extreme is genuinely aggressive and only worth it if you've confirmed you can stomach the drone. And do not buy catless downpipes at this budget. Running catless on a stock tune triggers check engine lights and can run the engine lean. Save it for a future build phase. The single highest return item in the whole build is the tune. Budget $700 to $1,000. Grab an horsepower tuner's MPVI3 interface, then pay for a real custom calibration. A proper tune on this LT4 with intake and exhaust nets 30 to 50 wheel horsepower optimizes boost, sharpens throttle, and corrects the air-fuel ratio your intake just changed. Use a shop with documented LT4 experience, the same people who tune Camaro ZL1s and Corvette Z06s. And here's the warning that the forums learned the hard way: do not buy a generic off-the-shelf tune from an unknown vendor. Documented cases of OTS tunes causing knock events and requiring full ECU recovery. Pay for the custom cal. Now the wheels and tires, $3,500, and the most visible upgrade you'll make. Move to 20-inch. The community-tested fitment is 20x 9.5 up front at plus 35 to 38 offset, and 20 by 10.5 in the rear at plus 25 to 30. Run a 275/30 front and a 305.25 rear, staggered for max grip. or go 275/30 square if you want to rotate tires and save money. For a daily, with occasional track time, the square setup is the pragmatic move. Track focused? Go staggered. For sourcing those wheels, start at threepiece.us. They specialize in multi-piece forged wheels and carry the exact offsets the Blackwing needs. Forged matters here. Lower unsprung weight than cast. Repairable if you crack a barrel, and you can order custom offsets to exact spec. Their staff knows GM performance fitment, which keeps you off spacers and clear of those big Brembo 6-piston calipers. Budget $1,800 to $2,200 for a set of 4, in the $450 to $600 per wheel range. This is not the spot to cheap out. Cheap cast wheels on a 668 horsepower car wearing sticky tires is a liability. For rubber, 3 honest choices. The Michelin Pilot Sport 4S is the daily driver default, around $250 to $300 a tire, $1,100 to $1,200 for a staggered set with excellent wet grip. Going track-focused? The Pilot Sport Cup 2R at $300 to $380. A tire crushes lap times but dies in cold and wet. And the value pick that won't embarrass you. The Continental Extreme Contact Sport SIO2, $180 to $230 a tire, saving you $200 to $300 on a full set while staying within striking distance of the Michelin. That's a legit substitution, not a compromise. Suspension, $1,200, and this is where most people torch their build. The Blackwing runs Magnetic Ride Control 4.0, one of the best adaptive damper systems on any production car. Replace it with a budget coilover and you get a car that rides worse, handles no better, and loses its best engineering feature. So work with the factory dampers. H&R Sport Springs, $350 to $450, drop you about 0.8 to 1.2 inches and use progressive rates that work with MRC instead of against it. Avoid drops of 1.5 inches or more. They bind the MRC actuators. Eibach Pro Kit is a fine alternative. Add a rear sway bar, Hotchkiss or Petters, $350 to $500. This fixes the one complaint owners actually have: mild understeer when you push hard. Stiffening the rear bar reduces it and sharpens balance. Leave the front bar alone. It's already aggressive from the factory. Then budget $150 to $200 for a 4-wheel alignment after the springs go in. That is non-negotiable. Drive hard on new springs without an alignment, and you'll chew through tires and create unsafe handling. Brakes get just $400, and that's correct. The factory Brembo 6 pistons with 15.7-inch rotors are not a weak point. You buy consumables, not hardware. Hawk horsepower 5.0 pads for street, around $150 to $220 for front and rear. Give better bite and modulation. Going to the track? The Hawk DTC 60 needs a warm-up lap, but resists fade beautifully. Just expect more dust and cold squeal. Pair either with Motul RBF 660 fluid, a 325 degrees Celsius dry boiling point, 2 bottles. And whatever you do, no bargain pads from unknown brands on a 668 horsepower car. The price gap to a quality Hawk or StopTech is $50 to $80. That's not where you save. $500 for cosmetics, last priority, big payoff. Professional ceramic tint, 35% up front, and 20 in the rear, $300 to $450, transforms the car's presence and cuts cabin heat on track days. Skip cheap dye tint that bubbles in 2 years. Then spend $50 to $100 on 3M 1080 vinyl to wrap the dated chrome trim pieces. Against aggressive wheels, that factory chrome looks out of place. A targeted wrap makes the whole exterior read cohesive. Install order matters. Maintenance first, week 1. Then suspension and wheels, weeks 2 and 3, with an alignment immediately after the springs. Then power. Install the intake, drive it a week or 2 and log data, then the exhaust, then the tune. So 1 calibration covers everything. 2 more landmines. After the wheel change, recalibrate your TPMS and verify pressures for the new tire size. Budget $50 to $80 for a relearn tool. And if a wheel needs a spacer to clear the caliper, the offset was wrong. Buy the right wheel the first time. So where does 10 grand land you? Roughly 700 to 720 wheel horsepower, an inch lower on 20-inch forged wheels filling the arches, tinted glass, blacked out trim. Sleeper, aggressive. Looks intentional to people who know. Looks like a sharp luxury sedan to everyone else. With H&R springs and MRC intact, it's still a comfortable daily, firmer, but never punishing. And none of this meaningfully stresses the LT4. The tune optimizes existing parameters instead of pushing past the design envelope. Your ceiling is the stock Supercharger, and going past 750 wheel means a bigger blower and a much bigger wallet. Here's the verdict. Do this build if you want the Blackwing focused, not fixed. Every dollar sharpens what GM already nailed. Avoid this path if you're chasing big horsepower numbers because 10 grand can't replace the blower, and avoid ripping out MRC for cheap coilovers no matter how tempting the stance looks. If you're sourcing those forged wheels, start at threepiece.us so the offsets and caliper clearance are right the first time. Drop your dream Blackwing spec in the comments, and if this saved you from a coilover mistake, subscribe.